it comes to assessing whether a cryptocurrency will be successful, one thing we should consider is institutional investment and developer activity. So these are two crucial metrics to look into before deciding on investment. Now, this is one that came from you guys commenting again, because I 100% love looking into new projects and researching into them. So I hope you don't mind me stealing the comments for ideas. Today we're going to be looking into Near Protocol. So this is one that I had actually heard of before, but I hadn't taken the time to actually look into and learn what it was all about. So I've gone right back to the very start of the project to see what it is and what they are bringing to retailers and how they look to progress through 2024. So if this is the first time that you are hearing about Near Protocol, here is the lowdown on it. So it was founded in 2017 by computer scientists Alexander Skidinov and Ilya Pilusukin, and they wanted to create a network that was easy to use for developers and also users. So Near Protocol is a layer 1 blockchain, and it was designed to run as a community-run cloud computing platform. And this is to eliminate some of the limitations that have been experienced on competing blockchains. So this is to try and overcome the low transaction speeds, the low throughput, and poor interoperability. So Near Protocol's mainnet went live in October of 2020, and it uses a sharded proof-of-stake blockchain. Now, I did not know what a sharded proof-of-stake was. So for any newcomers to Near like me, sharding involves dividing a blockchain into different parts, and these are then called shards, and it allows for transactions to be processed in parallel, which results in more transactions per second. The best way to kind of explain this is if you go into a supermarket and there's 4 checkouts open, you're going to get seen to faster. I think that's kind of the easiest way to explain it. So Near Protocol's sharding mechanism, it is called Nightshade, and it currently has 4 shards, which it is claimed to have kind of a ceiling processing of up to 100,000 transactions collectively per second, and this is said to cost less than 1 cent per transaction. So the 4 shards are secured by 100 validator nodes, and although there is technically not a minimum stake, a validator must currently stake over $1.8 million of Near to become an active validator that produces blocks and earns rewards. So Near uses proof of stake and validators to secure the network, and this is by locking up Near tokens in escrow and earning rewards as a result of it. So if the validators wanted to try and cheat the system, which hopefully nobody would, but they would then lose their stake, or the community can vote them out completely. So the staking rewards are currently around about 9% for both validators and delegators, and the delegation can be easily done by using the Near wallet. So the Near token is used to pay the transaction fees, which are burned. This is unless the transaction involves a smart contract. And in this case, 30% of the fee goes to the smart contract creator, and the remaining 70% of it is burned. So this in turn creates a huge incentive for developers to build on it. And they have just recently released their 2024 roadmap, which shows their dedication to continuing to build and improve on the network. So there's a lot mentioned in it, but a few of the big things that are planned are stateless validation, and this adjusts the original Nightshade sharding design to avoid implementing fraud proofs whilst improving the performance of each shard significantly by putting state in memory. They're also continuing their improvements on user experience, and this is by working on the congestion control and the transaction priority. So this includes localizing congestion so that gas prices increase and it doesn't affect the entire network. So it is allowing users to prioritize their transactions during congestion, and if they are willing to pay more in transaction fees, then it can be prioritized sooner. And they're also working on their Ethereum wallet support. So by supporting wallets like MetaMask natively on Near, this is going to then attract more users and also be more aligned with Ethereum. There is quite a lot provided in the roadmap. So if you are interested in Near, I would recommend jumping onto, you can get it on their Twitter account, which is where I first seen it, or you can also go directly onto their website, and it's under the blog post section. So as we all know, I love to give positive and negatives of any project. I think it's important to be balanced, especially if you are considering putting your money into something. So a few things that give off some big green flags for Near is that the Near protocol will be providing human readable addresses. So this is like if you're setting up a website on Near protocol, you can have an address such as melcrypto.near, and they set this up for you free of charge. Now, Ethereum does offer something very similar to this, But from what I looked into, they charge for this service and you have to set it up yourself, whereas Near Protocol does it all for you automatically. Another green flag is their staking design. So their unbonding period, it is a few days, whereas some of their closer competitors, such as Cosmos or Polkadot, I believe you do have to wait 3 or 4 weeks for the unbonding. I could be wrong on that though, so if I am, make sure you correct me. So the staking is also designed to de-incentivize big pool, and it does this by implementing thresholded proof of stake. So this guarantees that you get your fair share of the stake, even if you are staking with a smaller amount. So it means that the network can become more decentralized if it's not dominated by the kind of super pools that you can see. And the last great thing that we will go over of Near today is their interoperability. So this is achieved through 3 main pieces. And the first is Aurora, which is an Ethereum virtual machine, which is built directly onto Near Protocol. So this allows developers to bring over their existing dApps and run them with the fast speeds and the lower fees. So they also have what is called the Rainbow Bridge. So if you haven't heard of Rainbow Bridge, this facilitates asset transfers between Ethereum and Near, and it supports the ERC20 tokens. And the third piece for their interoperability is the Octopus network. So this is a network that lets you launch your application-specific blockchains, and it's built on Near. But it also contains the best parts of Polkadot and Cosmos. So for example, any app chain that launches on Octopus will have interoperability with any IPC-enabled blockchain. So Octopus also utilizes a least security model, which is similar to Polkadot's shared security model. So what I am trying to explain in a very drawn-out manner is that the interoperability can only help them grow because it enables more users and assets to flow through their ecosystem. So now it is time to cover my least favourite part, which is the negatives, or the red flags we shall call them for this. So number 1 is the lack of retail interest in Near. Now, Near is not completely different to what the likes of Internet Computer, for example, is working towards, but it is significantly lagging behind in its competitors. So my first theory of this, and the only one that I've managed to come up with so far, is that they haven't really done any marketing for it. So it could be down to this, that there just isn't an awful lot of people that know about it. But also their total value locked in staking is currently 90 million. And this has reduced drastically from where it was. So I believe at one point it was at over 400 million. And its fully diluted valuation is nearly 4 billion. So it's something that I would need to look into more, because with the valuation compared to the total locked value, it doesn't really make much sense to me. If you know more about that though, please do let me know. And another negative for it is the level of competition that it faces. So what I mean by this is that Near is indirectly kind of competing with Polkadot, Cosmos and Avalanche, as well as also like Solana, Aptos, Cardano, etc. And as the industry continues to mature, there is a good chance that consolidations will happen, where chains will merge, users will migrate, networks will halt. And considering the kind of high caliber projects that Near is competing against, the evolution will be quite a show, I think, to see how this plays out for it. And the last negative that I think is quite an important one is the centralization that is linked to it. So this is something that I spent quite a lot of time trying to look into, and I've not been able to find any kind of updated information on it for sort of 2023-24, but I believe that the top 6 validators had a hold of over 36% of the stake, and I believe 33% is enough to take kind of a network down. So it's enough for them to effectively attack the network on it. And I think to overcome this, they would need to have a wider stake distribution in order to increase the security of it. So overall, I do think that Near has some really great potential in the future. The sharding blockchain makes it unique, along with their efforts to ensure they always prioritise their developers and their users at the forefront of the project. I do think that the negatives that we went over could be overcome quite easily. The lack of retail interest, for example, if they increase the marketing on this, or we did just have a very brutal bear market, that could kind of explain why there has been such a lack of interest, because it is a newer project. But I do strongly believe that if they can increase the marketing for this, we will see it start to increase again. So let me know what you think in the comments below about Near. Is it a project that you love? Do you hate it? Do you think it's a scam? If you have any further knowledge on it, I would love to hear it, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!